Letters from the Front, Part 7, by CZS 5056. 7 Hui, 9737. To his most devout of servant of the Seven, Septa Gera. What have I done? I know the fourth edict says, "Thou shalt not spill the blood of our creations." I know that the Seven made everything, and every living thing is one of their creations. And I have spilled Nera blood on Kepler 22b. Oh, Seven, help me. Please, Septa. Is there any way I can avoid the torture that awaits all that breaks the fourth edict in Wilsh? Is there any way I can gain Lep's mercy and join my ancestors in Pihik? I know you are one of the most learned Septas in the whole faith. Please, if Lep needs a confession, I can write one here and now, since I do not know if I'll ever return home on Orak to deliver my confession in person. We arrived on Kepler 22b to relieve a Tagan army, who were fighting humans and Neras, when not even 3 days later, we were attacked by a Nera division. The fighting was very intense, and I had to use my shovel to fight when my plasma rifle broke in two over a Nera's head, causing him to drop dead instantly, and my service sword was caught in another Nera's rib box, then withdrawing the sword where he slowly bled to death. I had killed another two with my shovel, by stabbing one in their belly when I fell on top of him, and a second one, I had swung the shovel as if playing the human sport of tennis, hitting a Nera in the face, causing him to drop dead and the handle of my shovel to break. I then proceeded to continue defending the trench with my hands and fangs. Oh, Seven, forgive me. I plunged my fangs into a Nera neck while pushing him over, and I continued to bite him until he stopped moving. I still taste Nera blood on my tongue. I try to wash it out with water, and even mud, but it is still there. I was so scared. All I wanted was to get out of there alive and see my family again. Please, Septa, I was a good, virtuous and pious Orik before we were dragged into this most wicked of wars. Why? Why did I join when the call to arms came out on 27 Jilla? Why did the parliament of our most esteemed republic honor that cursed agreement with the Tagans? Why? Especially when everyone knew that the attack on Gliss 667 CCC was unprovoked. I swear, Septa, when I joined, I thought I would be a clerk or a messenger. The closest I thought I would be to the front would be delivering mail to the soldiers. Please, I'm worried about my everlasting soul. I cannot spend all eternity in Wilj with the murderers, suicides, and blasphemers. Is there any way, if I were to leave this planet alive, that I can work on redeeming my soul? Most humbly begging forgiveness. Junior Enlisted First Class, Jha Jorla, 3rd Infantry Regiment, Orak Army. Part 8, 28 November, 3014. Dear Victoria, I can't believe this battle is over. I feel lucky to make it this far. I have seen many things. Some so horrible that nobody, not even the Tagan, should have to witness it. Others so wonderful as to bring tears to even the most hardened of men. On our way to the front for a second tour, I passed the crater where Perkins fell in and died. Thankfully, either the mud buried him completely, or somebody was eventually able to retrieve his body. The smell was fouler than anything you can imagine. I remember in our convoy, a young man named Tom asked me what the smell was when we were a good 20 kilometers from the front. He didn't believe Colonel Foster when he told him it was the smell of 10 million decomposing bodies. When we reached around 15 kilometers from the front, we could begin to see the fireballs created by the artillery shells exploding and air support bombs detonating. We didn't see the fireballs themselves, but we saw the cloud cover over the battlefield turn fire red with each explosion. After the attack, I managed to find and chatted with some of the field artillery guys, who said how they had railguns that could take a shell a whole meter in diameter and propel them 200 kilometers and actually hit their target. The crew had named it the father of all guns. We had lucked out to be in the third attack wave, so we hardly did any real fighting. From what I gathered from the survivors of the first wave, the main barrage was hitting the front lines, with the father of all guns being used to hit the reserves and support trenches. The Nair air support was hitting any survivors that crawled out, and dropping bunker busters to clear out any well-dug-in places. The men were surprised to find a mix of Oryx and Tagans, and it seemed that we managed to hit where their lines met. After hand-to-hand fighting, the Oryx broke and ran first, allowing us to swing along the Tagan flank, and hit them from the front and rear, causing their surrender, but only after the top 18 officers had either committed suicide or fought until their death. With their lines broken, we were finally able to get our light armor to maneuver the openings and rush to finish off their logistics centers. At the end, we think, we have around 100,000 Tagan and 2,500,000 Oryx prisoners that we need to now take care for. I pray that I never see another battle like this. I've lost good friends here. I think I will never return here except maybe to visit Geo. The men are celebrating by drinking every last drop of alcohol they can find and singing. I'm going to go now, and lay down in a patch of green grass I see. It is the first piece of green I have not seen on a uniform for the past 5 months. Your loving brother, First Lieutenant Charles Potter, Earth Army Bravo, Infantry Brigade.